Paul, you waking up mad again? What's wrong this time? It's the end of the week and you're sad? Paul, I'm proud of you that you made it through the week. I'm sorry I called you an animation. I know you have other things to do other than just be an animation in the computer. Okay. And yeah, so what do you have going this weekend? Welcome to another episode of the Mighty Code Coder. I'm Rob Fitzgerald, here to make you great and help you innovate. In this episode, we're going to get you signed up for some more course material that is going to be at your disposal for help with coursework. We are going to get you signed into this exciting new resource for us called Github. In the past, I have used GitHub for code version control. That's right. So let's say you write an awesome app and publish it into the Apple App Store. This app will need updating, but you don't want to disrupt its normal distribution or usage while you work on it. Plus, if you have a team of developers working on it, how can you have the team of developers working on the code without disturbing the current version? Well, the answer is GitHub. We have done this with our very own 2-minute warning app. So let's take a look at that app now. All right. So if I go over here to this and I go to my GitHub account and go to my profile, when we first started doing GitHub, it was just a club and we called it South Hills Code. That's it. And this is actually where we not only made a GitHub account, we made a few apps. There's 6 apps here, and one of them is the 2-minute warning app. Now, the 2-minute warning app is an app that I devised for trying not to over teach past the bell or teaching past the bell. And if you look at the very top, you see that where my mouse is? At the very top, there's a countdown, and that's called the 2-minute warning. Okay. We since have not just updated this, we actually called the app the South Hills app now, but it was the 2-minute warning. And it basically will give you a notification on your phone when 2 minutes are left in class, because I was teaching over. Well, it turns out I wasn't the only one that needed this. Other teachers needed it. Students need it. No one knew when the bell was ringing, and it was making everyone anxious. And it came down to even our principal was using it. And in fact, he just contacted me a couple days ago and said, "Hey, we need the new 2-minute warning app to work with our distance learning schedule." So we've just updated it, and this is how we built it. So in GitHub, and so GitHub first tells you that the language we built it in Swift. And that's Apple's new beautiful programming language. And I have about 10 or 12 videos on how to code using Swift on the Mighty Code Coder website. So if you want to learn Swift, go up there. But usually when you see it, you see the different code that you're coding in, or this is open source, meaning you could see other people's code too. And it'll tell you what they're coding in, and how many people have started. That means how many people are actually following it, and how many people have actually forked it, which means they download the code and they try to work on it and update it and send it back to you and say, "Hey, is this something good?" And you could merge it back into your code or say, "That's not good enough," and send it back down to it. But anyway, so let's go to the 2-minute warning repository, they call this. And this is, if you ever heard the term open source, that's what this is. And so if I click on a folder, and we broke the 2-minute warning into a framework called MVC, Model View Controller. And if I go into the model folder, and model usually takes care of all the data. Okay. And so if you go in here, you'll see here's where we fetter out all the schedules. And so you have regular schedule, late start, extended, rally, minimum, and we need to put in a distance learning schedule in here. Okay, so you could see if I sent anybody to make this update, they know they'd go to this file and then add one, and then they could send it up to me and say, hey, does this work? And if I like it, I could say, yeah, and I merge that into my code. And then instead of having version 1.0, I can now call that version 2.0 or 3.0 or whatever I want it to, 1.5. All right, so that's what GitHub does. It's version control, and it lets you work as a team of developers. And with GitHub, you don't have a chance of messing up code. And this is what all major companies use. GitHub actually was bought by Microsoft, and they actually just came up with a education section that's allowing us to now use it in our education piece. So anyway, let me go back to the code. This was usually with GitHub comes in the very first part when you log into or if you go star or go fork a site, or if you go look at it, it has a README file. So the README file usually says what does the app do or what does the code do. And another very cool section is this wiki piece. So when we started 2-Minute Warning, I was able to document everything that we did to obtain this app. And if it was successful, I wanted to repeat it over and over. So if we do another app, I could follow this. So if I go to this wiki, you could see here is the developers. Some of these kids are still here. Luke is a senior. He's in my game development class, but most of them already graduated, including Zach, who was my project lead. All right. He graduated last year, is going to UC San Diego on a CS computer science scholarship. And here are basically this is the history of what we did. So if I click on the week of October 2nd, 2017, you could see what we did. I wrote pretty good in what we did. All right. Including, remember Tuesday's story about hard skills and what was most needed? Remember that one that said UX design? We actually made the UX design first, which is what you should do when you create an app. No coding, just what should it look like. And here is the 2-Minute Warning app. Okay, so if you click on it, you can allow the current schedule, which is regular, set this current, or you could edit to switch to a different schedule, rally schedule, and you could get notifications for class, break, dress notification for PE, whatever, and then hit done. And so your entire app should work as a prototype before you code anything. This is really just like a PowerPoint. There's no code behind this at all. Okay, so though it sounds like it's working, it doesn't. And so Jason's asking me, should I sign in with my old account? Do you have an old GitHub account? Are you talking about GitHub? Or are you talking about Adhesive? So we'll have to figure that out. Okay, so let's go on. So as you can see with this wiki, we can see how everything went. If we went in there and if there was some kind of tutorial that I thought was good, that would work, I'd put it in here. Let's see. At this point, we started using another online. I'd like to use this too in my class. I'm not sure how yet. I don't think Slack has an education component yet, but I went to the AWS conference last year in Vegas, and I noticed all these tech users or these guys from tech companies would sit down with their laptop, open it up, check their email, then check their Slack. Slack was the number 1 or number 2 most important app that a tech employee uses. And we actually end up using it for the 2-Minute Warning, and it just like creates different rooms for you to go in. So if you had developers all working on 2-Minute Warning, they can be in their own little room getting communication just for 2-Minute Warning. And then if you had another app like a skateboarding game app that we were working on, then they would only see communication from the skateboarding app. And so they wouldn't get confused and you wouldn't have to be tired by reading all these communications. So Slack's a great, in fact, Slack's now public, doing well in the stock exchange. And I'd love to add that, but we probably won't. But we did for this group of developers, and I still have them. So they're off to college, and I still can contact them through the Slack account. So if you go down to the November 20th, you'll see that we submitted the app. Rejected. Yeah. Man, as a teacher, to tell kids that their work's no good, that's hard on a teacher. We want your guys' work to be stupendous. But the fact of the matter is you're still in high school and your work's not always that good comparatively. So Apple will tell you that. You can't put anything in the Apple App Store. You have to have good code, thin code. They don't even want this fat code. So they understand that if you're using an app, that's taking a bandwidth on the internet. And so if you could write tighter code, more thin, they like that. So they don't even want your code to be bad. They don't want your design to be bad. Now in Android, they take just about everything. They don't really filter, but that's why you find in the Android, at least this is how it used to be, the Android store had a lot of junk in it and you really have to parse through to find something good. Okay, Apple doesn't allow that. They do it. So it got rejected because either the code or our design wasn't very good. But they tell you what is wrong and you go back and fix it and then you get approved. Yeah. All right, so we did get approved. Very excited. The kids were very excited. They had actually had a app in the Apple App Store. All right, so that is GitHub. And so I'm going to have you guys sign up so we can do projects as a team and have this wiki and have history and have problem solves. And it's something I've always wanted to do. Now, here's what I want to show you. So if I go to GitHub Education, all right, there is a student section. All right, I already signed this up. South Hill's already a qualified GitHub Education institution. All right. But what I want you to do today is go in here and get benefits for students. All right. And I'm stuck on this part for some reason, but you're going to walk yourself through this piece and get signed up. Okay. And if you want to know where that link is, I actually put it in your Google. Let me make sure I put it in period 6. Yeah, there it is right there. Okay. So that link, take that link and get yourself signed up. Now, listen, before you get going, they're going to want you to use your CVUSD account. Okay, so I know in the past I've been telling you to use your personal one. This one they want CVUSD because that gives them that verifies your status as a educational student. If not, they'll have you try to identify yourself. And then the last thing that I wanted to add to this piece was you could be you could sign up to do these other things. I've created 4 classrooms. Okay, so here they are. My classroom 1 is going to be my CS 101. Classroom 2 is going to be AP Computer Science Principles. Classroom 3 is going to be CSA, and Classroom 4 is going to be my game design. So it already connects to Google Classroom, and it already let me download you guys into the class. Okay, so you got to have your CVUSD login. And then the last thing I want to show you guys is, see if I can get to it here. They have these campus advisors, all right? And you could become a campus advisor. And I saw this map. These are people that are campus advisors, teachers. And as I scrolled in, when I was a CSP, a computer science principal reader, I met a girl that out in Riverside that was actually using GitHub Education in her classes. And so if I go to this campus advisor and I go out to Riverside and I click on this one, Janine Rue, that's her. All right, so I saw that was her, and you see she's using it with her classes, and she has 4 programs. And it's great. So I could look at maybe some of the stuff she's doing. How about creating a dog class? Let's see. There it is, how to do it. Okay. And she's already using it. And I have her card right here so I could contact her and ask her how best do we use this for South Hills. Okay. So I'm going to pause right here for about 5 minutes to let you log in and try to log in and see what the problems you have. Remember, use your CVSD password for this one. There is a part where it asks you, what are you going to use it for? Just say for class projects. I wish I could get back there. These are some of the people that actually have started using or have conspired with GitHub, and look who conspires with GitHub. AWS Educate. Okay, so that's not how we came upon GitHub, but it's awesome that they're here and they will actually give you a free starter account worth $100. That's probably where I got that $100 thing. I know you guys were signing in through Adhesive at 75, but GitHub's going to give you 100. So yeah, I should see how you sign up for AWS Educate through this, and you get an extra $100 for some console usage. Okay, so that's all I want to go into. Go to your classroom, click that link, get logged in. I'll give you 5 minutes to do it. Actually, I'm going to come back with 5 minutes left of class to make sure you don't have any problems and then to finish up this episode. Okay? All right, let's pause it right here. Okay, so I hope you had a chance to try to sign in there. There's some steps involved to get verified. But if you look at this student developer pack that they want you to apply for, these are offers by other companies that support this GitHub initiative. And so some of these look familiar. There's AWS Educate, and they're giving you $100, but there's even more. There's Unity. Our game design class is actually doing Unity, and they'll give you a Unity student plan free while you are a student. Okay. Heroku we used one time, and some other stuff that you will, MongoDB, Twilio, we talked about Twilio before, Arduino we use. So there's some awesome platforms that are conspiring here. Dashlane, remember I said you should get a professional password saver. Dashlane's one of them. So look at all these companies that are supporting GitHub, and they give you some free usage if you use GitHub Education. So very, very cool. Okay, so we'll get more into this, and if you had trouble getting signed in, yeah, that's part of the struggle, but the struggle's real. There's some great lessons in the struggle. Okay, great learning lessons in failure. I think maybe that's what we've learned from talking this whole week about learning. Okay, so anyway, that does it for this episode. Hope that you enjoyed it. Remember, always trying to make you great and help you innovate. So until next time, what Paul? Why are you looking so inquisitive? Oh yeah. If they have questions, they can leave comments below or go to the website at www.themightycodecoder.com or find me on Twitter at mightycodecoder. Thank you for watching.